HEP Suzuki.
HEP. HEP.
Yes. So, Cole, we'll start with your boy first. Mr. Justin
Hang
Bogle.
on, you missed the most important part of this team.
Just kick it.
Twisted Tea, bro.
No, Jesus.
Come on. You didn't even, come on.
We got Suzuki plastics on the wall.
Hey.
By the way, before we get into this, anybody that yells at us because we're leaving one of the members off of this, you know why he's not on this conversation.
The 7 deuce, bro.
Yeah, whatever. I don't
Look,
care.
his plate's on the wall.
Okay, so 7 Deuce Deuce is on this team, but he's kind of irrelevant.
That was basically what I was getting at. He's
Okay.
irrelevant.
Yeah, I mean, he's
We
going
love
to
7
be
Deuce Deuce.
lucky to make
But
mains,
there is
but-
one guy on this team that's relevant, and I'm a big fan of this guy.
Okay, Justin Bogle.
Paris Supercross, actually.
I mean, not bad. Not bad
Yeah,
at
looks
all.
good on that Suzuki.
Yeah, you guys all know I'm a big fan of Justin Bogle.
Leg swag.
But no, I'm a big fan of his style on a bike as well. I really enjoy how he's really started to embrace himself the last couple of years as well. Because like some of the weird random shit he does on a bike off of triples is so cool, and you know the cameras are going to be there now.
That little drop in the front end where he likes to grab his mouth guard on his helmet.
That,
is
or like the weird oppos he does,
Yeah.
or like just throws a knack. Like there's a picture of him just doing a random knack looking right
for like no
into
reason.
Febra's soul.
Yeah, for like no reason.
Like the whole awesome.
Yeah.
But
But how do you think he's going to do racing?
that's what I'm getting. I think he's in a good spot mentally. I think he's just kind of come to the realization that he's never going to be a top factory team guy anymore. The opportunity he has, again, he can be himself, and when you can be yourself, that's when your true potential comes out, I think.
Especially with this team.
He gets to the track, he probably doesn't have a team manager in his ear going, oh, you need to quit throwing whips and knacks over the triple, blah, blah, blah. That's what he thrives off of. Mm-hmm. That's what makes him ride well. Another thing to point out, I think, as well, is remember how good his starts were on the Geico Honda?
Yep.
He's back on a cable clutch.
Mm-hmm.
And even on the Suzuki, the JGR days, he was getting starts.
Colorado.
And Colorado, come on, like, who's the last guy to win nationals on a Suzuki and be competitive on a Suzuki?
It's
It is Justin
Bogle.
Bogle.
Had 2 overalls that year.
And again, I don't think he has quite as much talent as Justin Hill, but this is a very talented guy as well that I think can be right in the conversation with like Dean Wilson and
As long
and all
as he
those
stays
guys.
off the
So,
ground.
That's always a scary thing with him because of his concussions.
Yeah, and God, it breaks my heart every time he hits the ground.
All right, so what are we thinking? Give me a finishing range.
10 to 15.
Okay.
10 to 15.
15.
I mean, I can't really say much more. Everything he said.
I mean, he's right there with your Max Anstey's. He's right in there with your Dean Wilsons.
Justin Brayton. Not as fast as Brayton, but 10 to 15.
I mean,
Okay.
even last year he had started to get some things rolling.
Best finish was a
worked his
9th.
way from like 14th to 9th at an Atlanta round.
Yep.
So I think he has just a steady year. He builds his social media fan base and starts making a little money off some of that kind of stuff.
If he stays healthy, I totally agree with you guys, but I could see him getting hurt again because obviously he's
God,
prone
I
to
hope
that.
not. I hope not.
Coach, you got anything to add to the Justin Bogle argument there?
No, I couldn't agree with Cole more. I mean, he's a wonder to watch. He's poetry in motion. It sounds a little hokey, but he's a joy to watch. I love his attitude. I do agree that he realizes that his ship has sailed. Goes back to the Justin Hill. Goes back to that when the foot is off your throat, their personalities are allowed to really come out. It's gonna help them. And I think at the end of the day, it was a good buy for the Suzuki Twisted Tea team. I'm sure he's going to bring a lot of attention to the team, both on and off the track. The fact that they're letting him stay in Florida, I think, is pretty cool.
Yep.
Whether that means, I'm not sure exactly, was he at the compound or wherever he may be.
He's
But
with Burner
no.
and Lawrence Boys and all that, I believe, right?
Yeah.
Coop.
Yeah.
Yeah, so he's down there at the
Solid group of
compound. Yeah, and it's that facility has become more of, they work really hard, but they also like to play really hard. I mean, you look at the Lawrence brothers, and then obviously Cooper's there, and it's just a mixture all the way around with Savachi and everybody. But no, I think Bogle is a tremendous asset. I know he brings money to the team, so that's a win-win for the team. So yeah, I think I would have to agree with you. I had a more 13 to 16 range. If the field is full, I don't see him breaking up inside that top 10, but 13 to 15, I think, is completely realistic for him.
Their pit parties are going to be pretty cool with him there. No, I mean, think about it. If you want to talk about the social media aspect of it, the pit parties.
And I like
Billy Grotto and Twisted Tea, baby.
He's got like kind of like a funny sense of humor and stuff too. And with the Twisted Tea, there's some humor with Twisted Tea, and it just with the whole meme thing. You ever seen that where the dude just gets his face blown out by the dude with the Twisted Tea? Yeah.
So.
And Bogle comes up with some weird, funny shit anyway.
I mean,
The local Homo boys are weird.
That team I think is going to survive off social media because they have 7 Deuce Deuce, they have the Twisted Tea thing, now they have Bogle. Like, I think that's good. But someone on the team who doesn't do the social media thing quite as great as everyone else does,
Heartthrob.
Brandon Hartraft.
See, I like Heartthrob.
I like him too. I think this is another growing year for him, though. I don't see him taking a major step.
Does anybody know what the issue was last year? Was there something that came out?
Nothing I've
Bike
heard.
issue. He had a lot of issues during Supercross, I guess.
Oh, okay.
And he wasn't. He didn't disclose what it was, but basically he was not confident in his equipment.
Well, I've got him at 13th to 18th place.
I think. Well, I agree with you, Travis, about the not big step, but also I think you could say it is a big step because last year he struggled really badly. Now that we know there's a bike thing, I think he's in the main. There's no reason he's not going to be in the main every weekend.
I think he's going to be an LCQ guy.
No, he'll be in the LCQs, but I'm saying there was a lot of times where he didn't make it into the mains.
Got it.
I think he is going to be one of those guys that's the best of the rest, and I think just
could be and a sleeper fantasy pick.
Yeah. I mean, he ended the year really well at outdoors, got a couple top 10s. Talk about the field being depleted. That's a confident boost for him. So I think he's in the main every weekend. And I could see him around 13th to 16th. I think that I think he's just going to keep growing and growing, and I think there's no reason why in a couple of years he's not a consistent top 10 guy. Like, he's made leaps and bounds as far as when he went to pro to where he is now. It's just everybody's got to remember he only had 2 years in the 250 class.
Yeah.
And he didn't even have full 2 years.
Yeah.
So
all right, not bad. All right, let's move on here.